Hi, this is Sniz with Bloodbane on World 11. This is my August 26th video log. I'm probably going to be doing a several part tonight because I'm going to be covering some military stuff. I'll start off with some of the mechanics. Later I may spend some time talking about just general strategy and some of the principles at play if I have time. But I thought I'd first start off just by, I'm going to be using my World 10 excursions and information here as I'm actively doing this stuff on World 10. So basically what I just recently did, and I thought you'd enjoy this one, is this guy was originally this guy, Sicky. He had his... Oh, he's built another town. That's funny. He had, when I decided to attack him, he had this castle that was in the 5,000 range, and then he had two small cities that were both under 500. I think one was 200 and one was 400. He made the unfortunate mistake of castling his first city, and then actually had some really weak cities that he's been trying to build out here on the coastline. Not quite sure why. So anyway, I decided I liked this shit, so I'd take it. I'm mostly just doing this for fun. There's really no strategic value in this location. I like restarting people and fucking with them. And at least this guy, he's got other cities, so he can come back and try to attack me later. He's just got some rebuilding to do. Anyway, I wanted to show now what I did, just to really quick cover the mechanics of this one. I was experimenting with multiple siege lockdowns. The first thing I did, and this was a timed coordinated attack from 3 different castles, and I'm not going to clip around, I'm just going to explain it in voice here. Basically, I sent an assault force, and I timed it all so the assault force would arrive first, and then I sent 2 siege forces. One siege force did not have a baron. This is a new mechanic that I just kind of picked up in the last attack. One siege force did not have a baron. The point of that siege force was designed to just hammer down anything that got sent in or got built up. So basically the assault hits, huge assault, I think it was like, well, not huge, but by my standards at this point, I think it was like 23,000 berserkers hit. I mean, I decimated whatever troops he had at the time. About 10 minutes behind that, my siege force hit, and that was like 6,000 or 7,000 berserkers from another castle. Now, I set them on siege even though they did not have a baron. Now, what that did is it created a large group of berserkers attacking every hour. Now what I did is, about 5 minutes behind that came my baroned siege force. So what basically happened is a huge assault hit. 10 minutes later, my unbaroned siege hit and stayed sieged. And then about 5 minutes later, my baroned siege force hit. So what happens is every hour, the first thing that happens is my unbaroned siege attacks. Then my baron siege attacks. And this guy, he was pumping out units as fast as he could, not too effectively, but he did continue to try to hold his city. He was sending support units, I think, from his other cities, and he was trying to produce. So every new attack, there were another 100, 200. I hate the chances of my baron dying. So what happened is the unbaroned siege force would kind of clear the way for the sieged attack. Interesting component. I liked the idea that you can send 5 sieges against the city. Now sending only one needs a baron. The only difference is a siege with a baron in it increases your power of claim and ultimately conquers a city. But if you send a siege force that's just a military force, you just pound away at that thing every hour on the hour. Automatically to infinity until he finally either defeats your troops or you defeat his. So there's some interesting, I've got some interesting strategies about ways to lock things down and put them in danger of starvation and whatnot. But anyway, in the short term, it was the most coordinated attack I did. And really, the only reason I attacked this poor guy is because I wanted to test that mechanic out, and it worked brilliantly. So I was way pleased with that. Anyway, crushed him, took his city, and to give you an idea, the prize ain't so great. What a fucking mess. I have been reconstructing the city for 12 hours. Actually, so far, deconstructing the city for 12 hours. It's down to a 4,500 score. It was over 5,000 when I took it. I have been basically demolishing buildings and building cottages in their place, upgrading the randomly placed cottages he had in different locations. But this kind of stuff you end up with farms stacked up against, sandwiched in with a mill sitting here only servicing one of the farms. At least you put it by water, but they're not by empty fields. I've seen so many retarded things in these castles. I mean, what happens when you take a castle from retard is you get a retarded city. So I don't mean to be too mean to the guy, but anyway. So basically, the first thing I do is I've got to get the construction speed up. So I started destroying his buildings very slowly. I think his construction speed was probably 400 or something when I first came in here. And basically all I've been doing for the last however many hours, pretty much throughout the entire day today, is destroying his mess and building cottages and upgrading cottages. The construction speed's up to 1,000. Basically, as soon as I create a, here I'll do something while I talk. As soon as I create a I'm not going to do it. I'll try to record video. Anyway, as soon as I, create a couple of slots, then I build the cottages and so on. I decided, now I ended up with a mess in here, but he had a couple of towers in here, so I decided to go ahead and keep the towers, and I'm going to end up building a structure around them, and I'm going to mess around with the mages and warlocks because I haven't spent much time on them yet. So, anyway, thought you'd enjoy just the mechanics of that fight and the so-called prize at the end. Like I said, there's going to be a multiple parter. I'll try to cover a little bit before breaking parts. Now, this city is one that I took. I think it was the second one that I took here, and it's developed pretty good ways away along to toward being a better city. I don't think I covered totally the building structure, but this is basically it. It's similar. The only difference is where you would have cottages, you have barracks. Where you would have producing units, you have your actual training grounds or temples or mage towers or whatever. The only difference between the res configuration and the military configuration is you cap the ends with the barracks. The reason is the barracks are increasing your army size, so is castling, by the way, and increasing speed. Where multiples of these, all it's really doing is increasing speed. Now the goal is to get 2 or close to 1% production time. In this case, I'm down to 7 seconds on berserkers here. So basically, I'm pumping out a berserker every 7 seconds, and once the city's done, that should be every second or so. Now, the thing, even though, yeah, and I've actually got 3 rows of training halls, although at some point that may be overkill, and I'm starting to build up my workshops. This is an assault configuration, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time on, this is one configuration, it's not the only configuration, but I'll tell you some of the advantages I think come with this. By the way, this mage tower is just residual left over from what the guy left me. I may actually upgrade it one and keep it, just for moonstone production, but I don't know. Anyway, that level 9 mage tower was part of my original baggage with the city, so was this castle in the wrong row. So anyway, so the reason that I like this configuration is that the same buildings can be used offensively and defensively. Actually, you know what? I'm going to break parts here. I'm going to end part 1, go to part 2, and then I'll dive into that subject. Be right back.